What's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to talk to you all about main character syndrome. This is when a person turns themselves into the main character in every situation, in every relationship that they find themselves in. They always have to be the center of attention, the main character. If you're talking about your day or your life, they will always find a way to make it about them. And this is our generation. You know, they're given that main character energy. They always have to be the star. They can never allow anybody else to shine without them trying to interfere and center themselves. It is given an inflated sense of self-importance. It is giving narcissistic tendencies. It is giving grandiosity. Now, don't get me wrong. I am all for a person being confident and being self-assured. I love that. But these people, they take it to the extreme, to the point where they try to always center themselves and find their own autobiography in your story. Have you ever met people where you're talking to them about your day or about your family, and they always find a way to flip the conversation back on themselves and their family and their day? They can never stay with your story. And it's that conversational abandonment that is hurtful, because you want to tell your story. You want to garner support and investment, but instead you oftentimes feel as though you have to fight for some attention in the transaction. And I've dealt with people like this all my life, people that always try to center themselves, and you always feel as though you have to fight your way in the conversation, as opposed to people genuinely holding space for you and holding you within that conversation. I personally feel the main character energy is just disgusting now in the world, because no one is considerate, no one is kind, no one is thoughtful. They're always trying to push you out the way so that way they can shine. And if you have a friend, if you have a family member, if you have a spouse like this, you need to definitely remove them from your life, because if you feel as though you can never be focused on, cared for, the center for once, well then, no, that's not going to work. They say in every relationship, there is the one who is the gardener, and there's the rose. There is the one who is showered with all the water, the love, the attention, the sunlight, the spotlight, and then there's the one who's just constantly giving out. And every relationship has this dynamic, you know? And me personally, if we can't take turns being the rose and being the gardener, well then I'm gonna have to uproot that person from my life and toss them in the fire. Because I have no room. I have no room for people that want to always center themselves in everything, you know? And why is this problematic in relationships? Because it makes people feel unseen, it makes them feel unheard, it makes them feel invisible. And when you don't see yourself represented within certain spaces, you're not motivated to stay within those spaces. If you don't see your story represented within a conversation, and when you don't see it appreciated and listened to, you're not going to be motivated to listen and provide that love and support in kind. You know, and oftentimes main characters, they'll say things like, well, if I don't love myself, then nobody will. There's such a thing as healthy self-love, healthy self-appreciation, healthy self-esteem. But what we're seeing nowadays is this inflated, over the top, grandiose version of self-esteem. It's given narcissistic tendencies. They can't acknowledge other people's lives. They have to always bulldoze their way over somebody, you know? And this confidence that's healthy tends to morph into this really almost disfigured form of confidence, you know, that is given very unhealthy, very character disordered. There's a lot of character disordered individuals out here who want to center themselves in everything. They don't want to acknowledge you at all. And so once again, you have to keep yourself safe. If you start to deal with these people immediately just terminate the discussion and move on. And if they have any question as to why that happened, well, you have to let them know, look, I don't feel seen and heard in this conversation. It's obvious that you want to make this conversation a monologue. This is a discussion, conversation, prefix meaning to, not a monologue. And a lot of these main characters, a lot of these people who suffer from the main character syndrome, oftentimes will use you as a sounding board. They'll use you as a human trauma container where they'll dump. They love to dump. That's a feature of this syndrome. They love to dump, but they don't listen to you vent and share. They will always try to dump their problems, always try to, overtalk you. They really don't listen. They give the impression that they're really listening, but they're not. They're not listening at all. All they're doing is trying to interject their own experience into your life experience. And do they know what they're doing? Yes, a lot of times they do know what they're doing. They don't lack awareness. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to once again center themselves because they feel, if I don't love myself, who's going to love me? No, that's not self-love. See, the thing about it is this: when you love yourself and you genuinely appreciate yourself and you have a healthy ego, you can make room for other people's experience without you feeling as though it overpowers your experience or dominates your experience. It's only people with wounded egos and low ego strength who tend to try and dominate and overpower people within a discussion and a transaction. If they're feeling bad about themselves, they will definitely try to regain that lost confidence by trying to control. And so you have to run from these people because they're just selfish. And they get nasty when they can't be the main character. They try to sabotage things. They try to, be very passive aggressive, accidentally but on purpose, forgetting certain things so that way they can once again center themselves. And so when you get this impression that you're dealing with this main character, you have to write them out of the script of your life. You have to basically just terminate their role because your life demands reciprocity. And that's the key word. That's the word that those who suffer from main character syndrome do not understand. It's not in their vocabulary. They don't understand reciprocity. They understand spotlight. They understand self. They don't understand reciprocity. And if you can't have reciprocity in your relationships, those are not relationships. That's just modern day slavery with a twist. It's you working for them. It's you watering them. It's you taking care of them. It's you tending to their emotional crises while your crises get ignored. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be the center in your story. So please, if you're dealing with main characters, get rid of them immediately and find people who can actually make you the main character, and you can safely make them the main character in return, and you both can be included within the story of your lives. So I hope this video was helpful, y'all. Definitely share your experiences dealing with main characters and some tips and strategies that you have used in order to manage such personality types. All right, y'all. Peace.